Hi everyone and welcome back to the Wow Embossing YouTube channel. It is Erica here with a video for this month's theme, Nature's Wonder. I am trying something a little bit different today, and instead of doing traditional coloring, I am going to add some color to my card with alcohol inks. So what I've done is first is I measured off the 5.5 inches on my Yupo cardstock. And then I am going to, with some luscious greens and yellows and also a little bit of orange, maybe some pink, I'm going to create kind of a bit of a leafy and a petally sort of crazy outline. And then on top of this, it's going to be my stamp of choice that I'm going to use. And the one I'm going to use is a big sunflower from Firth-Young Studios called Face the Sun. These alcohol inks are the metal shimmery ones from Tim Holtz and Ranger Ink, and I just had a great time using these and splish splashing them around with my little puffer. And then it was when I thought I had enough green, I decided to move on to the yellow and orange, and I decided to skip the normal one and only use the metal shimmery ones for this card to really sort of make it all pop. And I've gone a little bit heavy with the orange here to kind of just add a little bit of and mega heavy with the yellow to really sort of bring in some what I was hoping to aim for, some kind of like color contrast with the alcohol inks. It's very difficult to have any type of control, I guess you'd say, over alcohol inks. You know, when you start puffing, they just kind of react and go a little bit all over the place. And here I'm using this just to kind of sort of see where I may need to add a little bit more color. And this sunflower stamp, as I said, it is from Firth-Young Studios, and it is a lovely stamp. It's just been released in the, I want to say, the April release, and I made so many cards with it already. It's crazy. I had the idea that I was going to basically stamp up this stamp set onto vellum and have the colors kind of shine through the vellum. And I've gone to town here with my embossing pad to really, you know, get all those fine little details. And with the help of my Misty, I'm just making sure that I get a really good imprint of that. And whilst I'm doing this, my heat gun is going, because vellum is a little bit notoriously tricky to work with. And the one I've decided to use here is called Oil Slate. And I didn't think that it was going to maybe be like the best choice, but I was in an experimenting mood when I made this video. And it did actually turn out absolutely fantastic. So you will see once this is all set. So with the help of my little corkboard, I am heating this on the lowest setting. And as I mentioned before, the heat gun has been heating up, so it's nice and hot and even heat. And vellum notoriously is, like I said, very difficult to heat emboss without getting loss of warping. But you do need to move your heat gun regularly, but just make sure that you keep an eye on all that embossing powder so that you cook it but don't burn it, and also that you don't like burn the paper. But I do find using this little corkboard, it makes such a massive difference to the warping. Did you see that? It's like almost completely flat. It's insane, and it looks fantastic. This one is so cool. Say Oil Slate. And yeah, I absolutely love how that turned out. So here I've got my background, and I'm just putting this over, and I was very disappointed to see that the vellum is just a little bit too thick. So I decided to come up with a new idea. So I popped the alcohol ink panel back into my Misty, and I hadn't actually taken my stamp out yet. So it was all good to go. And with the black hybrid ink pad from Firth-Young Studios, I stamped this stamp twice on top of the alcohol inks. I have no idea why that sort of slipped my mind. I did notice though that I should perhaps have waited a little bit with this, because despite stamping twice, the black ink did not stick to the panel very, very well. However, you will see later on in the video that I did it a third time, and that time it actually worked really well. And this is after 2 times. So this is stamped twice with the ink. So I decided to set that aside. So at this point, it felt like I had no cards. I was getting nowhere. So I thought, okay, let's try this again. So I stamped up the same stamp set again, but this time directly onto Yupo paper. So I thought, okay, well, this could actually work. So here I have a really nice crisp image, and I'm just gonna use my alcohol inks and my air puffer and really wildly, again, add color. Not try to stick within the lines or anything like that, because that would be crazy. There's no way I would be able to control the colors like that anyway. So I just kind of like added color, and at this stage I was loving this, absolutely loving it. Yeah. And then I decided to add a little bit of the normal yellow and then the metallic shimmery yellow, but the normal yellow just really didn't make any difference at all. So I thought, let's just use the metallic one to go for all the shimmer. And I should have stopped here because this looks fantastic, right? But yeah, I had to go and add that orange, and I basically ruined this whole panel. Ugh. Well, you win some, you lose some. I did try to fix it by adding more yellow, and even in a crazy move, I tried to dab some of that orange up with a bit of kitchen towel. But nothing worked, and it was completely ruined. I mean, I might be able to kind of, with a bit of alcohol, just kind of rub off some of that orange, but I think I'm just going to chalk this up to a lesson learned. Don't do this. So on the vellum panel, I decided I was going to try to save this. So I first added some color onto the back, and then I thought, well, it wasn't quite sort of colorful enough. So I added a little bit of color on the front as well. But if you do this, you have to be very careful because it can actually ruin your Copic color nibs. So a very, very light touch is very much needed. Now, you can see here, I've let this panel set and dry, and this time the stamp worked so much better. The image of the card took the ink so much better. So I had 2 out of 3 cards, even though none of them actually started out, the way I was kind of planning. We're at least making some headway. So there is, you win some, you lose some, and then you kind of gain some back sometimes if you're lucky. So here I am heat embossing 3 different sentiments. I know I was going greedy here, thinking maybe I could say the 3rd card after all, but no, it is a no. It is going in the trash. But I really like all these 3 sentiments. They're all very sweet and lovely, and they're just the kind of thing that you want to send to like a best friend or someone you're missing. So I decided I'm gonna heat emboss them all, and then whichever one I don't use, I will have ready for another card at another time. So here you go. You can see, and the black cardstock is very matted due to the anti-static tool, but with a little wipe of a normal old kitchen towel, there you go, all back to black. Then I just trim these down, and they're ready to be put onto the card. And I did have to do a little bit of my usual, fiff-faff and going back and forth, and is this the one, is that the one, or which one should I use? So I finally made a decision and decided to just go for it. I'm just going to stick it down and then move on to the next one, stick that one down, and bam, be done with it. Because I do actually, despite all the drama in the craft room, I do actually really like how these turned out. So they're so different for what I usually make, but what do you think? Kind of cool, huh? Like lots of color, but without any control whatsoever, which is so not my usual style at all. But I would love to hear what you think, so do put a comment down below and let me know which one you like the best. And thank you so much for stopping by today and listening to all my jibber jabber and following along my crafting drama. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel for more tutorials and fabulous inspiration all through the weeks. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Bye bye now.